banner up there. Pre-show banter. Excellent. You and I have a lot to talk about after the show's done. Oh, wait. I was going to save some of that for the Patreon show.
Yeah.
Do I have my notes? I have my notes.
I did like his elevator buttons.
That was fun. I posted that to, was it LinkedIn this morning and Facebook this afternoon?
Okay.
So I meant to do Instagram too. I don't have a whole lot of Instagram followers too, but I thought, yeah, and just in case there's some that are there that aren't anywhere else, you never know.
You never know.
Okay. Yeah. I have one question for you after the show too. Just to, hey, what do you think about? So let's get this thing socialized.
Done.
Hey. I'm working the technical stuff over here.
Yeah, see, let me look at your post here. Let's see.
Share. Just the same 3 pictures I put on LinkedIn.
The video will drop. Well, the video and the audio, right? We're going to post audio as well.
We didn't put bookends on the audio. We're not just going to start out with, here's our theme song and welcome to the show.
No,
and please subscribe kind of thing.
We can do that.
We can do that tonight if you want, and then I can glue that on.
If we have time, or we can do it tomorrow.
I didn't really plan out an audio version of that very well.
That's all right.
Let's see. It's time. It's time to take your medicine again. There we go. Share now. And we need our question of the week ready to go. Good. All right. I'm ready to begin. Someone's joined us. Thank you for joining us. We see you lurking out there. Give us a shout out in the chat. Let us know.
Hold on, I'm almost ready.
Craig needs to get a little more inebriated. This is why I'm running the controls tonight. I've got good old H2O. So now he has something to blame the mispronounced names on.
I started to say, when has alcohol ever caused a problem?
We have an article about that tonight. You just gave me a new idea to think about.
Oh.
I got to remember that when we get to that part about the monkeys. All right. Ready?
Hey, they say alcohol is the answer to and the cause of all the world's problems?
Because no good story ever started out as, I was eating a salad one time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. I'm sorry to interrupt. Please.
No, that's all right.
You continue.
We're ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Wait, my audio. Do your audio again. Check.
Do my audio again. Check,
You're
check,
good.
check.
Hello, your levels are good. Mine was a little low.
All right.
Okay. Oh, our one viewer left.
Great.
This is worse than all the other podcasts.
Like somebody flipping the channels on TV and we're like, oh, what's this crap?
That don't talk about anything.
Yeah.
It's like, how many other podcasts are out there where it's just 2 guys rambling without any direction? Well, that was us. Now it's time to put the direction on.
Right.
And quick sound effects are working. Good. Want to make sure that's working before we go forward. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 782 for September 24th, 2025. Geeks in the Machine. Hello and welcome to Technorama, the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time joining us, thank you. We are the face hugger around your throat.
Wow.
You will get Technorama jammed down your throat and everybody will look at you funny. Pretty much.
Like I need any help.
And then you will have a chest burster and spread the good news to everybody else. Right. If you're returning, well, you are probably a fully fledged xenomorph of your own. That gets into shows that I was watching earlier this week. So I try to be inspired by something I did this past week. Welcome back. We appreciate you giving us your time. My name is Chuck Tomasi, and I am here in Phoenix, Arizona in my studio. And over there, just like a stone's throw away.
Is it this way?
Is Craig. No, it's not that way.
Well, that's not the way it looks on my screen, by the
Because
way.
you've got your screen flipped. Raise your right hand. Do you see it on the right or do you see it on the left? Is it mirror mode?
I guess. I don't know.
I can't stand mirror mode when I broadcast.
Yeah, I know it messes with me.
Because then, like, things that are written in the background are backwards, and I cannot stand
that. Right. Yes. I'm doing all right, man. We had a good time this last week, didn't we?
We did. We had some fun, and we'll be sharing that in a little bit. Friday, we will be dropping a video and an audio into the audio will go into the podcast feed, and the video will go on our YouTube channel.
Yep.
We got to do an updated interview after 20 years with the one and only Adam Savage. So we had a really good time 20 years ago, and we said, "Do you even remember us?" And he said, "Yeah, you were one of the first people to interview us." And like, "Yeah, you were one of our first interviews."
Actually, it started off. He said we were one of the first people to actually have him interview him on a podcast, and he went, "Wait, you were probably one of the first people to actually interview me."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Whoa, okay, how about that?"
So he remembered us, kind of, sort of, but good enough.
You know, and I didn't mention it to him, but I talked about it here a little bit one time, I think, is that when I was reaching out to him the first time to get him on, I just went to adamsavage.com, and on his contact page was his email address, and I emailed it, and the next day I had a response. I was like, "Whoa, that's awesome." So then got me in touch.
Yeah, we're very thankful that he was able to take the time out. He did this right from his workshop. So whatever you see on his tested channel is what you're going to see in the background. Even walked us around to a few of his exhibits during the conversation.
Yes.
Like, oh, I got something to show you. Picks up his laptop and walks around.
Yeah, that was awesome. Because it's very much like watching him on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, wait, I got it over here." And he went to show us an example of what he was talking about.
Just hanging out with him for a few minutes. And it was,
yeah,
we steered the conversation with some general questions and then let the conversation go where we want. So we spoke for pretty close to an hour and had a wonderful time. So watch for that coming on the feed. We're very, very thankful for him for giving us some of his time. We know he's extremely busy, extremely popular. And, we even asked some, I don't know if they were uncomfortable questions, but not the answers I would have expected, where we went, "Hey, do you do this?" And he goes, "No, not really."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, let's move on. No, we did move on. We had a great conversation, and such a warm and giving person as well.
Absolutely.
The promo clip that I'm going to throw out there on Friday on YouTube and Instagram and whatnot will you get to see. You get to see. So watch for that. Thank you. If you're joining us by watching that, thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. By the way, I was going to say, in the show notes for this episode, I will put in a link to our interview we had with him 20 years ago, and you can see we were polished professionals back then as well.
No, we weren't on either one. Only now we have AI to make us sound a little more polished.
Yeah, right.
So, if you are new to Technorama, welcome aboard. As I mentioned before, we are just two old geeks that talk. It's what did Harrison say? Yeah. Two old guys who say words. That's what it was. I got to make a T-shirt out of that.
Yeah, actually, he's in the house. I could go drag him over. He can say it himself.
Your son has gotten much older since we started doing this 20 years ago.
Yeah. But he starts work Tuesday or tomorrow.
We're just hanging out. We've got a few pre-prescribed segments on this, and we've got some that just lets us go where the conversation goes. So join us for the next hour or so, or you can hit pause, take it in installments. We don't mind, but we really appreciate you giving us your time. We know there are lots of other podcasts out there you could be listening to and maybe should be listening to, but you gave us this one. Thank you. All right. That means it's time for us to go into one of those pre-prescribed segments where we get the listener feedback. We asked a question of the week last week, and it goes something like this.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
Boom, 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 boom.
Mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out.
We've heard this song about 1 million times.
Yeah.
Let's get on with the show today.
Oh boy. More like, oh boy, again.
Sarah Rose has joined us. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Sarah.
Our question of the week for you last time was, what's the most useless robot you can imagine, and what is it or what does it not do? And loyal listener Steve London from Sweden says, the tea spiller 3000.5.
0.5.
I like that one. That's good. He says, the teapot with googly eyes that spills tea.
No wonder you like them.
AI voice, high posh British. And it can't even brew a decent cup of tea. Only rooibos and green tea. Yikes. Wow, that's clever.
All right, our buddy Stephen Wetchy says, the remote-controlled toilet seats. Not sure how that works. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, we've got them. They're out there. Look at what Japan has done for bathrooms.
Oh, I know. Well, remote-controlled? Okay, so it's remote-controlled toilet seats. He says, I understand bidets, but opening and closing a toilet seat is a bit ridiculous. LOL.
Hey, there's people who don't want to touch the toilet seat, even with their shoe.
I always use my foot, especially the public one.
Here's a tip for you, travel tip from our Alaska trip. I don't know if I ever told you this.
Okay.
Travel tip. If you're going to the bathroom, tie your shoes.
Oh, why would you not?
Somebody didn't have their shoe tied and they were in one of those public ones that's just basically a toilet seat over a hole. And their shoe went in.
The shoe went in?
The shoe went in it went down the sploosh.
Oh my gosh. So they'd walk around all day with one shoe? Oh. That is terrible.
Anyway, there's your travel tip. In fact, I should make a t-shirt of that. When you go to the bathroom, tie your shoes and make people go, what?
Just cut them off when you come out.
If you know, you know. Mike Robinson says, Walmart greeter robot, supposed to say greetings and sales info, easily hackable to say Jeff Dunham / Walter quotes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What are you doing here?
I know. Yeah. Mike Robinson also said, a candy dispenser robot that flash heats or flash freezes, and sometimes both, all of the things dispensed. And it also has a random chance of launching products in unexpected directions.
Here's some Pez.
Yeah.
He's got a whole bunch of them tonight for us. Mike also says, fully automated ice cream trucks that habitually park in front of in-session grade schools and leaves right before recess. And returning and leaving just before class lets out. Hey, well, it isn't parked in front of schools. It's slowly driving by weight loss centers.
It's like a Waymo. It just pulls up. There's nobody in it and just drives off.
Wow. All right. What else do we have? You shared it. You got a couple?
I did. Gary Lindra says, reports when the sun sets.
A robot that just...
Thanks, robot.
The sun has set.
Yeah, Mike Wills says, tells you what time they leave, but fails to take into account traffic. It's like pre-Google Maps.
I got one from my sister says, okay, the opposite of that is data from Star Trek: The Next Generation. So the most useless was the stationary robotics on Star Trek, the original, that kept trying to use the irrational to get Kirk to cooperate and give over the ship. Then it shorted out. Okay. So like the Alice number 101 and 103 or whatever it was. On iMud.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Not the best robots.
Did you have one in mind?
I have been thinking about this. Useless robots. What does it and doesn't it do?
I want one that chews gum for me and just spits it out.
That's good gum.
Hey,
yeah. And then sticks it under the table for you.
That's what I mean.
No, that might be a little too useful for you.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Useful by, spit it on the sidewalk or in the carpet.
Oh, in the carpet. Hey, have you ever woken up and had gum in your hair?
Never.
Never? Not even when you were a kid?
Never. I didn't have a whole lot of gum when I was a kid. Remember? A lot of kids, poor family.
Oh, and some of them were probably faster than you, so you didn't get the gum. It was all gone before you got there.
I had it was just like the clothing. It was all hand-me-down gum.
Oh, you were the one getting the gum from under the table.
Hey, this one's still got some flavor in it.
Ooh. Ooh. I do remember waking up from a nap or something and had some in my hair. So I remember Mom pulling on my head, trying to clip it off, or something.
Isn't there a Simpsons episode like that? Try mayonnaise, now peanut butter. Pretty much, you got like this whole collage of
paper clips
in your hair.
Yeah, right.
All right. We've got another question for you at the show. Thank you to everybody who contributed to that one. You will have a chance to contribute if you like. Watch our Facebook post for that. So let's round this out and we'll go into the history segment.
Right.
Thank you, singers. Bring in the band. On this day in history for September 24th, 2025, it's the 267th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are only 98 days remaining in the year. It was on this date in 1852 that the first powered passenger-carrying airship, the Giffard dirigible, that's a fun word to say, dirigible. It traveled 17 miles or 27 kilometers from Paris to Trappes. I don't know how to pronounce that name.
It's a Traps.
It's a Traps.
September 24th, 1906. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt proclaimed Devil's Tower in Wyoming as the nation's first national monument.
Not the national park, national monument.
Yes, there is a difference.
Jimmy Doolittle performed the first flight without a window, proving that full instrument flying from takeoff to landing is possible on this date in 1929.
Without a window. So he had no windshield.
Hey, didn't have to worry about bugs.
No, you didn't have to worry about the in-flight meal. He just eat the bugs.
There's a useless robot. It throws bugs at your windshield.
All right. That same date in 1935, Earl and Weldon Bascom produced the first rodeo ever held outdoors under electric lights.
Electricity?
Wow. It cost $36 to light the whole thing all night.
I don't know about that. Witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
It glowed an electric glow, an evil electric glow. 77 years ago today, the Honda Motor Company was founded. I'm assuming by some guy named Honda.
Yeah, Richard Honda. And it was 65 years ago today that the USS Enterprise, the world's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, was launched.
Nuclear vessels? 65 years ago. Wow, you wouldn't think that the Enterprise was that old.
I know, right? Yeah.
Also on September 24th, 2014, the Mars Orbiter mission made India the first Asian nation to reach Mars orbit and the first nation in the world to do so on its first attempt.
Wow. And it was on this date in 2023 that NASA's
Osiris.
I got it.
Okay.
OSIRIS-REx capsule containing samples from the asteroid 101955 Bennu successfully landed back on Earth.
The problem was it just had little arms to pick it up.
Yeah, no. OSIRIS-REx. Oh, almost got it.
Happy birthday goes out of this date to Dutch mathematician and politician Johan de Witt, born on this date in 1625.
And Georges Claude.
Georges.
I know. Georges Claude, French chemist and engineer, invented neon lighting as opposed to the electric lights and was born on that same date in 1870.
Is he the one responsible for all those flashy colors on clothing in the 80s? The neon pink and the neon green?
I'd like to see the first one he had is like a naked woman, like look what I made.
Animation.
Yeah. Animated neon light.
American supercentenarian, the oldest verified American person ever. Sarah Naus was born on this date in 1880. Now she's a supercentenarian, which means she lived past the year 2000. She was over 120 years old. That's amazing. She was already 20 years old in the year 1900. That's incredible.
That is amazing.
Imagine what she saw happen in her lifetime.
Well, she saw neon lighting. No, she didn't.
No, that was 1870.
That was 1870.
No. Oh, wait. No, he was born on 18. Okay. He probably didn't invent it the year he was born.
he was awesome.
Big neon signs happy birthday.
Little cake with a flickering candlelight. All right.
Moving right along to Franklin Clarence.
So Franklin Clarence Mars, American businessman, he founded the planet Mars.
No, he founded Mars. The planet Mars.
It was incorporated in what? Incorporated
Mars Incorporated. That's the name
Mars
of the company. Wow.
Incorporated and born.
That's why we don't let Craig drink on air.
On that same date in 1883. There, I'll finish the sentence.
Born September 24th, 1896, American novelist and short story writer F. Scott Fitzgerald.
An Indian-born American theoretical chemist who developed the Dwar-Shot Duncanson model. Michael J.S. Dwar was born 107 years ago today.
Yes. And for listener birthdays, there are none this week.
Are you kidding me?
None. It fit perfectly. We will have one next Wednesday.
Wow. That's like, is that the first time we've ever had that happen?
We've been doing this a long time, so maybe back in the early days when we didn't have such a fully fledged calendar.
I was gonna say maybe when we had like 3 people.
Right. If it's your birthday this week, we very much wish you a happy birthday. And if you'd like to get on that birthday calendar, you know how? You go to chuckchat.com/birthday and put it on there. We'll give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year. We've been yapping for a while. This song's got to be done soon. That's the way it was on this day in history for September 24th, 2025. Let's see. Are they done? They're going to be done now.
I can't afford to time.
Wait. Yes! I still got it. I still got it. I know how many verses we've gone through, even when I'm not counting.
By the way, I was just looking back at that that line I was reading. Yeah, and the comma threw me off. It said founded Mars Incorporated was born.
That's how AI reads it. Craig is now turning into AI.
Yeah, it was born that same day in 1883.
Exactly. I hate videos that do that.
I know.
Just hire someone for $5 to read your script. Don't get AI.
Sometimes there's a word that'll trip them up, and I'm like, that didn't sound right. You know,
or they hit that comma and they take a pause.
A long pause.
The dam was first constructed in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah. Who talks like that?
AI does. It doesn't know proper punctuation for place names. Anyway, hey, Gary Lindros and Mike Robinson. Everybody's hanging out with us tonight.
Hey, guys.
Maybe we should move to Monday nights.
Yeah.
Let's do some news, shall we?
Good news, anyone?
Well, it's potentially good news. It's a technological advent or
Actually,
step up. Yes.
This reminded me of, was it Mark Kilfoyle mentioned about the floppy disk and that could store a bunch of data on it, and we kind of talked about it for a minute.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and you even said, "Oh, I think I want to make one."
An SD card floppy, yeah.
But then I saw this, I went, "Oh, I got to throw this in the mix."
This is even better because this is an article from last week on energyreporters.com. We all know that storage space is always playing that game of, do we have enough? Wait, we'll make something bigger. But we're reaching the limits of what you can do practically and physically with things like magnetic hard drives or SSDs. Just the physical limitations, you're going to get down to the sub-electron level that's going to get a little crazy. Well, now there's a move to explore DNA cassette tapes.
Okay.
Yes, it looks like a regular cassette tape, but instead of holding, what was it, about 16K of programs for your Commodore 64.
I'm not even sure I don't remember how much storage was on those originally,
and it was slow and prone to, those were based on audio signals. Well, now they're saying DNA cassettes could hold as much as, where's that big ass number? So a single 328-foot DNA cassette tape could hold over 3 billion songs, a capacity far exceeding traditional cassette tapes. You think? Furthermore, the prototype device is expected to handle up to 36 petabytes of data. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. Kilobytes. 1,000 of those is a megabyte.
Right.
1,000 of those is a gigabyte. 1,000 of those is a terabyte. 1,000 terabytes is a petabyte.
Right.
So that's a few orders of magnitude more than we've got today. I mean, think, oh, I'll go out and get a 4 terabyte drive. Imagine going out and getting a 36 petabyte cassette. Now, keep in mind that the drawbacks are speed, not density, but it's speed.
Yeah,
Scientists have successfully read and write data from this, but they're
has to be fast.
Improve that. Yes, you'd have to come up with new drives. You can't just put this in your old Sony from 1972 and hope for the best. They're going to have to speed that up.
Hey, one thing I don't remember about this article. One thing, why a cassette type device? Why?
I don't know. I wondered that too. I mean, you wouldn't. Part of it is because it's sustainable, I guess. More so than throwing a hard drive in a landfill. There's no printed circuit boards on it.
Well, like you look back at Star Trek, the original series. They had the orange and yellow squares. They
look like 3.5-inch floppies.
Yeah, but okay. And I also think about that. And then I think about Android robots that we're building. Why do they have to look like humans? I know to function in a human world, but is there a better design?
I was wondering that myself too.
So then you go, why cassette tape? Hey, when you see the guy that designed this, he's probably like grew up in the 80s and he's got a mullet still. And
I had him laying around.
Yeah, hey, I got an idea, dude. He's got a box full of cassettes. Hey, I'll use my Foreigner cassette. There we go.
Not Foreigner.
Hey, by the way,
you re-recorded over my Foreigner cassette.
Yeah,
they're not using magnetic media though. They're using DNA on this thing.
Hey, Becky broke up with me. I'm gonna reuse this mixtape. All right. So, by the way, I did look this up on a Commodore 64. About 30 minutes a side of tape, you could get 100K on it.
Ooh, no one will ever need that much storage.
Seems like it would be more, but that's amazing. Okay.
All right, on to the next article, which is equally fun. And I heard about this on NPR Shortwave podcast a couple days ago.
Okay.
So chimpanzee researchers found out that they've been eating some mildly fermented fruit. Because the fruit is on the tree, it falls to the ground. And they said, wait, if the chimps are doing that, could that possibly be why humans are predisposed to alcohol?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, as he downs some bourbon. 1,000 drunk
what separates
monkeys.
us from the chimps, Chuck?
Infinite number of drunk monkeys might end up with Technorama.
What separates us from the chimps? Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, they said if you take the alcohol by volume of the fruit they're eating, the amount, because they're eating 5 to 10% of their body weight a day, and you scale to their body weight, they're drinking the equivalent of 2 drinks a day. Like, that's
really.
This is not a new theory, because in 2014, University of California, Berkeley biologist Robert Dudley wrote a book called The Drunken Monkey: Why We Drink and Abuse Alcohol. It was very controversial. So they redid a study in 2 places. They studied them in the Ngogo and the Ngogo Chimpanzee Project in Uganda and the Tai in the Ivory Coast. So they've got 2 different samples. And they said, yeah, this is kind of what they do. The more modern study. Now, what they want to do next, which I think is going to be the tricky part, is I picture them walking up with a breathalyzer. Your nose, stretch your
come here. A good chimp. Here.
Well, they also said they'd like to get some urinalysis too going to see if there's any of those indicators, the post-alcohol indicators out there. But yeah, this is fascinating stuff. They said it could indicate that our common ancestor, like 18 to 30 million years ago, they were doing this, and that influenced the way that we evolved in terms of our organs and body chemistry and whatnot. It's not something you see in other species. Although I have seen birds, I don't know if it's intentional or not, birds eat ripened fruit and then start flying into windows and things.
Oh yeah, probably yeah. That would explain a lot.
But they're not doing podcasts either.
No. No, but there's a low barrier entry, so go for it.
I picture these chimps, we're conducting a study, and they're sitting around in smoking jackets and holding a sherry glass,
Yeah.
a brandy snifter.
I have a theory. Yeah.
And suddenly we have Gunter from Futurama.
Right.
I say, do you have another cigar? On to space, because it wouldn't be a Technorama show without space.
Hey, do we do too much space news?
I don't think so. We're space nerds. We're space nerds. Let me make the typography a little larger so I can see it. M96. M96 is a kind of wobbly looking galaxy. I would like to show you a picture, but there's an ad running right in my face. There we go. Let's make this even larger. See if we can do a screen share on that, just for the fine folks watching.
It looks like a spiral, almost like a conch shell shape.
It kind of does. It looks like it's at an angle,
Mm-hmm.
but let's see, share screen, entire screen, that one, and away we go. It's a very beautiful galaxy. And we got to get rid of the ads. Go away. Okay. And another one pops up. Great. But they're saying that the pinkish bands, this is a very long exposure, many, many images put together to get this image. It says the lopsided spiral M96 shines in the vivid new Hubble image, revealing glowing pink rings of newborn stars and dramatic effects of cosmic tug of war shaping its uneven form. So I think it's beautiful because it's got so many colors of the spectrum in it. But they're saying that the pink sections are star forming regions where the stars are either about to ignite or recently ignited and just haven't finished blowing off all of their cosmic dust to make a clearly defined star system.
That's pretty cool.
And this is a pretty recent image. Very cool. Thank you, ScienceDaily.com.
Yeah, thank you, Hubble. Or is it Hubble? Yeah. Hubble.
Yeah, Hubble's still up there cranking out good images. Not everything's coming from JWST right now.
No, and yeah. And how long has the Hubble been in service? 30 something?
91. It's over 30 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Long after they expected it to go kaput.
It's amazing.
Yeah. All right. So you use ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT, and apparently about 8 bazillion other people do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the number in the first chart?
800
million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is about they said a 10th of the adults or 10th of the population. It was crazy. Now there's obviously some fudge factors in there. People using multiple accounts. How many people are using the free account? Blah, blah, blah. But that's a lot of people. And they said, based on that, let's see if we can figure out what people are using it for.
And by the way, let me add to that number, not necessarily literally, but that I know some people that I would think that they were not early adopter kind of people.
Right.
But they're like, oh, I used AI to do this. I used AI to do that. I'm like, it was starting to surprise me. But the barrier.
My 91-year-old dad said he was.
Yeah, that's right. Your dad.
Pretty darn impressive.
There's a couple other people. I was like, one of my friends, he was showing me a whole story. He was using AI to create. He was just at the airport and sort of making my buddy Craig Watson started making a story with I guess it was ChatGPT. Yeah, it's just a lot of people that I did not expect. I'm not talking about Craig. Craig's kind of a tech guy, but just some other people that had brought it up, and I didn't expect them to be using it, and they were.
Let's take a look at the charts, shall we?
Let's do.
So you got to go about 3/4 down the link. You can find all this on the show notes at chuckchat.com/Technorama for episode 782. Ding, all that good stuff. But about 3/4 of the way down the article is the actual, what are we using it for?
Mm-hmm.
And they've broken it down into these 7 categories: multimedia, unknown/other,
Right.
Practical guidance, seeking information, self-expression, technical help, and writing. Now, writing is the big one. No, I take that back. Practical guidance is right up there close. So practical guidance accounts for 28.3% of the usage, and writing is 28.1, just slightly behind it. Now, under practical guidance, they have things like tutoring or teaching. I use it for that. Hey, how do you do this in JavaScript? Da, da, da.
Yep.
How to advice is part of that. Health, fitness, beauty, or self-care, and creative ideation for practical guidance. That's interesting. Now, when you get into writing, I'm going to just go for the other big category. There's write fiction, which is only 1.4% of that. Translation. I hadn't thought about using it for translation. I wonder how well it does.
Oh, yeah. I imagine that's pretty easy one for it.
I use Google Translate for most of my translation, but
yeah, I have too.
There was a movie I was watching a couple weeks ago, and they were saying something in Spanish, but they didn't put the Spanish subtitles up there. It was just like lady on the side of the road jabbering, and it says speaking Spanish. So I got out Google Translate.
Oh yeah.
Had to get really close to the speaker and really crank up the volume, but I hit it. I'm like, oh, now I have a spoiler about what she was saying that I'll get later in the movie.
Oh, well, this is a long time ago. I was on a Zoom call at work, and there was somebody translating for the person was it India? I forget where. Anyway, so I turned on my phone and set it near my laptop, and I was getting translations before almost when they finished. It was pretty good. It's pretty close.
Let's see. Translation, personal writing or communication accounts for that in the writing section. Edit or critique provided text is the big one that people use for writing. It's like, hey, could you make this a little more professional? Could you make this a little more friendly?
Yeah, I've done that. I remember writing one. It was kind of sensitive for another team or to another team. So I asked it to be so reword this.
It started out, hey, could you make this a little more friendly? He just pastes in and says, F off.
Yeah. No, I said, I think I asked it with an emphasis on cooperation, that kind of thing. And it actually did pretty good. I was like, wow, I'm just going to use that. I'd already written out my email, but it reworded it a little bit. And whenever I do something like that, you got to make sure to take out like wordy words that you wouldn't normally use,
or the ones that give away that it's actually AI writing it.
Yeah, it's like, no, I don't want it to look like that. But so yeah.
And then the last one under writing is argument or summary generation. I use it for summary quite a bit, not ChatGPT specifically, but I will often take like you, a recorded conversation and say, translate it, summarize it. I want that in my notes, so the next time I talk to this person, I can remember what we talked about.
I think summary is the golden spot for AI, because even on my phone, if you open it up, I got a Samsung phone, open it up in Samsung internet, like a web page, at the bottom is there's things to summarize, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna read this or not, or you get the gist of it.
But yeah, even on our topic is Trek, Clinton has asked us to do more of the articles, and we don't want to read the articles verbatim, but we want to summarize. So you could say, hey, take these 2 links, summarize them in 3 to 4 sentences, and then you can start tweaking on that.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah,
this last week, you'll appreciate this. I think I sent you a screenshot, but I was doing some coding, and in VS Code from Microsoft, there's Copilot.
Oh my gosh, that thing is like sped up my coding.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
so there was a couple of functions I had. I've had them for a long time, and it started suggesting. He goes, well, you might want to put a trap in here. I was like, okay, and I let it do it, and I was like, that was pretty good. And then there was then for fun, after I got done using it for improving my code, I selected all and said convert from PHP to Perl. Did it.
Language translation. There you go.
Yeah, the whole thing. It did language translation. Yeah, but that was funny.
I am duly impressed with what the AI in VS Code is doing. I was writing an integration between Notion and importing a CSV. So I import a CSV, and I wanted to make Notion records. And I swear for at least half of that few hundred lines of code, I was just hitting tab.
Oh yeah.
It would suggest something. I'd glance at it and go,
it'd have the ghost text on there.
Yeah, the ghost text was like perfect, tab. And then another block would come up. Oh, I hadn't thought of that, tab.
Yeah. I want that, tab.
There were a couple where it said, and with this if, I'm going to give you a free else statement. It's like, no, I don't want an else on here because it's like.
Well, that's one of the things that, talking about jobs being replaced by AI, I was thinking about that the other day a lot because I'm like, hey, I went through a lot of code and made some changes that improved my code.
Right.
Of course, this is code I've had in service for 8, 9, 10 years. And so it improved a lot of it. But then I started thinking, well, can this replace my job? It's like, well, it's not like AI would have the idea to make the code to fix the concept I was working on. So yeah, I was more of an architect and I was kind of guiding it a little bit.
Yes.
I think. So I was like, okay, I'm down with that. So you change into making your concepts come to fruition rather than it just replacing you altogether.
Coming to fruition a lot faster.
Yes.
And, could somebody else do that to take 8-year-old code and review it and make it more optimal? Yeah. I mean, could they take the generative AI and say, clean this up for me or modernize it? Yeah, that could be done. So I don't think it's going to cost a job, but it could move it to a cheaper model.
Well, again, my thought was, okay, it can make the code, but it doesn't understand the why we made the code to begin with, or why this bit of code's there. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought it was cool. I was pleasantly surprised at how fast I was making changes.
I was too. I'm like I said, I'm really impressed with what's coming along. All right, that's the end of the news. We do have a Remember When segment in here, so let's go there. We have predictions from 2015 about, because that was Back to the Future year. This is a little early. We should have done this on October 21st, but September 22nd.
Oh, I didn't think about that. We should have saved it.
Close enough. But this person over at mikesroadtrip.com, Mike Schubik, made some predictions about the year 2025. So guess what? It's 2025. And we're not going to read all of these.
Guess what? It's been 2025 for 8 months, 9 months.
Yep. We're not going to go through all of them. I don't know if you had some favorites. I thought some of them were pretty dark.
Oh, well, AI, speaking of AI, will be indistinguishable to humans.
Pretty close. It's
close.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll see drones and personal quadcopters all over the place now. By 2025, however, you'll see people aboard. Personal quadcopter bikes and family aircrafts will be flying around the skies. I think you jumped the gun on this one. I don't know if I would have predicted that in a 10-year cycle. Because even if you go out to 2035, still don't think we're going to see it.
Well, I want this other one, the smart home will be one of the biggest contributors to economic growth. I wouldn't say that, but I would say that it's gotten a lot easier to implement a smart home. Yeah.
And more ubiquitous too. It says, we all know that driverless autonomous cars are coming.
Yeah.
But here's my prognostication. It will be illegal to drive in major cities. Computerized cars will be much safer. So with public safety in mind, lawmakers will ban people from taking over the controls within city limits.
No.
Didn't happen. But you get down to some of the later ones and he's pretty close. Many common surgeries will be done by robots, or at the very least be performed remotely by doctors in other states/countries. This will be achieved by massively fast internet and mobile data speeds. That's not too far off. My surgery in 2018 was done by a robot. Now, granted, doctor was sitting in the same room, but it was still a remote robot. He could have been.
Oh, who was that?
Where.
I know somebody that had surgery via a robot, and the guy was not in the room at all. He was somewhere else.
This one is scary true and scary close. I hope it doesn't come true. Privacy is all but dead in 2025, and so is any semblance of freedom. Little over rotated on that one.
Yeah. Or 3D printing will allow us to make nearly anything in the convenience of our homes, and the companies will thrive on those 3D hardware, matter, software, and plans for business. So many current manufacturers will be displaced. Not quite. I mean, it's a little bit of mix. It's a mix there because they didn't put anybody out, but I can design almost anything I need.
You can't make anything.
No,
You
I said
can't make
almost.
anything out of wood.
You can. There is wood filament. I've seen a guy. Hey, I watched a video just the other day. A guy used a wood filament on a crazy large 3D printer and was making a stool. He made a stool.
Yeah, and you know what it is? It's like not medium, not OSB. It's like the fiberboard stuff.
Mhm.
It's a pulp that's been regurgitated. But
Yes, of course. It's
not
filament with wood particles in it.
You can't make anything.
I didn't.
You can make a lot of things that you couldn't normally
I said
make.
almost anything. I know you can't make anything, but you can make almost everything. Hey, I can print with ABS, and
you can't make a printed circuit board.
You want to bet PCBWay? Go there.
That's not a 3D printer.
No, but you can design it and send it to them to print.
How many videos do you watch that are ads for PCBWay?
I know. And they always say the same. That's that guy, Perry Fractic, the Commodore 64 guy. He actually had a video of going to their factory in China, PCBWay, and he kept saying, I'm here at PCBWay. I was like, is he just stuck in his head, or is he doing that on purpose?
We'll leave the rest of the list to you, dear listener, if you so choose. TalkChat.com/Technorama, episode 782. Okay, now it's the part where we thank our existing patrons because they have been keeping the show alive for quite some time.
And you can be one too, by the way.
You could be one too. We'll tell you how as soon as we get to the end of this list. Thank you, Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brad Miller, Brian Brown, Chris Martinez, Chris MC, Dan D. Man Coyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, Jason Pollard, John Clifford, John Noble, Jorga Schrauen. Where was I? I glanced at the other screen. Crazy Joe, yep. Kyle Nishioka, Leon, M. Mark Guilfoyle, Mike Wills, Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy, Steve Cody, Steve Theron, Steve Webb, Steve London, Sylvain Resico. I asked.
Oh, okay.
That's as close as I can get. It's French, so we're going with that. And okay. Tim Cook.
Hey, and that's also the French translation of his name.
Tim Cook?
Yeah, Tim Cook.
Or would it be Tim Cook?
Cook. Oh, he's a kook. All right. No, I'm just kidding.
If you want to be on this list for as little as $1 an episode, you will get an extra episode just for the patrons. And when Craig and I travel, like on the Star Trek cruise or Dragon Con, you get a postcard. And if you bump it up a level, you even get to the t-shirt level. If you hurry.
Yeah.
We're having a closeout sale on TeePublic. Oh,
no, we're not.
Patreon.com/Technorama podcast is where you go. Ding. That's the banner on the bottom of the screen, Craig.
Oh,
you missed the birthday calendar too. Try to keep up.
There's the birthday calendar.
TalkChat.com/birthday.
There. See, I got it caught up.
Patreon.com/Technorama podcast. There we go. Well done. That's why we don't allow drunk monkeys on the show.
Sorry, drunk. You call it a drunk monkey?
Drunk chimp. It's more fun saying drunken monkey.
I know, drunk monkey.
Okay, we're at 45 minutes, but this is the part of the show where we get into where we talk about things that we watched, listened, read, visited, vandalized,
graffitied, tagged.
I tagged you on Facebook. That's a whole nother level there. Yeah. All right. Give me your list.
You want to go the whole list?
Go through it. Yeah.
All right. I think I've seen this before, actually, because a lot of it seemed very familiar, but I watched Trainwreck, Woodstock 99, and everybody had, I think, going into this, everybody had different points of view on making the show. Like Woodstock, some of them did. I
Right.
think others had profit in mind, and it was a train wreck. They cut too many corners. They sold rights to the vendors, I think it was, to other people that their uh, cost cutting mattered to them even more because they're on a smaller level. Water was a problem. Sanitation was a problem.
Okay, so it was a lot like the original Woodstock in that respect.
Actually, sometimes in some way, yeah, I know Woodstock '69 was different. I think it had its own problems because they
Yeah.
got a lot more people than they were expecting. So they ended up with some of the same problems, but here people were more destructive. It was a whole different situation, and it was terrible, and it lasted over 3 days, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Wow.
and it was ridiculous. You've seen this before, right?
This is one of the train wrecks that I did not watch.
Oh, okay. And I remember when it happened.
Mhm.
I mean, when it was going on, I thought, "Oh, this is gonna be cool," and I was kind of watching it, the news, and then the news changed and went from cool to, "Oh, there's fires and almost riots," because the heat was
Great
one
time,
problem.
great time.
Yeah, heat, water, lack of, and they were gouging people with food prices. Like, the guy had a salad and a drink, and it was $9. It was ridiculous. That was a 99, So anyway, the next movie I watched was something I hadn't watched before was Venom, and it's about the alien symbiote that famously attached itself to Peter Parker at one point,
Right.
but this one's to Eddie Brock, and it didn't get great reviews, but I'll be honest with you, I kind of enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So, but I wouldn't say it was fantastic. Didn't blow my socks off, but it was all right. It was kind of fun. The next thing I decided to go step back in time and started watching the $6 Million Man. It was on Peacock, and so the pilot, which is really an hour and a half show, but they broke it up into three, not hour and a half, but they broke it up into 3 hour long episodes. It was to be continued, kind
Mhm.
of thing. And the first 10 minutes was Steve Austin going to the moon and returning. All right. So they show all the montage of him going on, and they show his Dr. Rudy, who's doing a little voiceover, talking about how he's in charge of Steve's health, and he's this and he's that. And they keep showing Rudy like looking at the camera, and then they show Steve going to the moon, and Rudy's staring at the camera again. I bet they showed that little bit of stock footage like 10 times. And it was like they tried to show Steve going to the moon and back in real time, and it only took him like the span of a half an hour. It was the weirdest thing. It was just kind of surreal. There were some other funny, interesting moments. Some things that you go, well, they can't get away with that nowadays, kind of thing, because of the time. But overall, I thought it was all right. Probably not as riveting as I thought it was when I was a kid.
Nope.
But I don't specifically remember watching this episode when I was a kid. I remember seeing other ones with, Sasquatch and stuff like that, later on. But
The really good ones.
yeah, like I was sending pictures to our private chat, and I was like, "Look at these vending machines." It was like old beige vending machines
Like, yeah.
that I remember when I was a kid, kind of thing. So, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the really good episodes like $6 Million Man meets Fonzie.
Fonzie. Yeah, actually, I don't remember. I looked it up online as I was watching it, and I was looking at the cast because I realized uh, Dr. Rudy Wells. There was
Mhm.
actually 3 different actors that played him over the course of those 3 episodes. I was like,
Thank you, IMDb, for making me not
Oscar
crazy.
Goldman, yeah, Goldman walks in and he starts talking to Dr. Rudy, and I went, "Wait, that's Dr. Rudy?" I said, "Wait a minute." So I had to pull it up. Sure enough, 3 different actors that played that man or that character.
I'm not crazy. There were 2 Darrens in
Well,
Bewitched.
they all had the same kind of mustache.
Sure.
But one had less hair than the other. And I was like, they're trying to pull something over here.
That's all you need is the mustache.
Yeah. So anyway, it was fun to go back and watch. I'll probably watch a few more episodes. I don't know if I'm going to watch the whole span of the thing, but and then I saw the little placard for it. Mission Impossible 1, 2, and 3 is on Netflix, and I think it leaves at the end of this month. But usually they're on Paramount because it's a Paramount property. But I watched the first 3, and I like them more than I thought I did. The first one, I remember the very end was kind of hokey because it ends and the helicopter blade comes right at his throat and stops like 2 inches from his throat. I'm like, come on, it's kind of weird. But got to number 3 where it was Philip Seymour Hoffman. Is that his name? Yeah, he was in there. He was the bad guy, and he played a good part. So I like these better than I thought I did. So there you go.
I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe I'll have to go back and watch him.
Yeah. Hey, the only thing by the way, that's the thing about Mission Impossible is they always go rip the mask off.
Yep.
It's like, oh, it wasn't so and so, it was so and so. There's like they pulled up more masks than Scooby-Doo did.
Farmer Green.
Yeah.
And
I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't you meddling kids.
All right, let's go through my list real quickly. I watched The Amateur on Hulu. This is a 2025 film starring Rami Malek and John Bernthal, who we know as the Punisher, yes. It also had Holt McElhenney, who I recognized from Mindhunter on Netflix. He was in a series that talked about serial killers in the 70s and how they were trying to track them down. They called them, it wasn't serial killers, it was series killers is what they were calling them first. But anyway, Rami plays a CIA computer analyst.
Yes, I remember.
Not too far from Mr. Robot when you think about it.
Right.
And his wife flies overseas and is caught up in this robbery, I guess, and then shot, and he's out for vengeance. And the CIA, he also unlocks some documents that the CIA is playing dirty with some of these things. So he uses that as blackmail leverage and takes things on himself. So they call it The Amateur because he's an amateur agent. And Holt, who plays Director Moore, is like, gee, I really hope somebody shoots this kid. He's got to take down 5 bad guys, and I'm not going to ruin the story for you. Really good. I thought it was a fun watch.
All right.
The other one that's on Hulu. The other one's on Netflix, Becoming Led Zeppelin.
Oh, I almost watched that.
I'm not a huge Zeppelin fan, but I've been watching a lot of these music documentaries, and this one isn't a mockumentary, kind of like Rocket Man or Bohemian Rhapsody. What?
Or Spinal Tap?
No. It actually, they talk to Jimmy Page and Robert Plant and John Paul Jones. They have some audio interview cut in from John Bonham because obviously he passed away over 45 years ago. Yikes. But the really interesting how they all started and who knew whom, and then when they got together and going on the road takes them up to, I think it was through Led Zeppelin 2 and their gold album. So it was very interesting. I never realized how monotonous Robert Plant's stage movements were. He only had like 3 things. He'd turn your back to the audience, or he'd bow his head so his hair was in his face, or he'd stand there like he was holding an air guitar with the mic in his left hand and the cord in his right down low. Yeah, there's really only 3 things he does.
Right.
It's funny. You watch it, like, there it is again. There it is again. There it is again. But it was fun. If you're a Zepp fan, you should
out in the documentary.
Huh?
Did they actually point that out in the documentary?
No.
Or you just noticed it?
No, I just noticed it after a while going, man, he didn't really change much, did he?
Yeah.
But it was fun getting the backstories and being on the road and how they wanted to make success and just the change they had in 1 year. They were actually more popular in the US initially. But it was kind of like the Talking Heads documentary where they show the early films like, this is our first stage performance. And the audience has got their hands over their ears and like kids are going, what the hell is this?
Yeah. I started to say that I started to say, oh, that's like the Beatles, but actually the Beatles were pretty popular already when they came here.
Yeah, so they had kind of this organic growth, whereas Zeppelin had sort of an explosive growth.
Right.
Moving on to the next one. This one's called 28 Days Later on Netflix. This is actually from 2002. You can tell because there is a very young Cillian Murphy in it.
Oh, yeah.
Cillian Murphy from Peaky Blinders and
Batman and Tron Legacy. And,
shoot me. It was
no, not today.
Oppenheimer.
Oh, right.
There he looks really old. Here he looks really young. He's only like in his 20s.
You can see where my mind's at. I named every movie but that.
There's also a young pre-Doctor Who Christopher Eccleston in here.
Oh, okay.
And who else is in here that surprised me?
I wouldn't say wouldn't.
No, that was 2005. He was Doctor.
Was it 2005?
Yes, this is 2002.
I thought that he started the Doctor in around 2000, 2001.
So it's a zombie apocalypse basically. Only instead of zombies, you've got people infected that are going crazy and then killing other people. And in about 10 seconds, if you get blood or saliva or something in your system from them, you go crazy. And so he wakes up 28 days after the infection starts. And he's completely confused. There's nobody around. It looks like COVID times because he's
walking. What happened with The Walking Dead? Remember?
Yes, it very much had a Walking Dead. I swear, Walking Dead was inspired by this. It had to have been. That's the vibe I got out of this as well, because there were small pockets of people, and you hear a radio transmission, and they go find the people. It was. Oh, the Brendan Gleeson was the other one that was in here. Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah.
So he among other things, of course, but that's where I knew him from. I enjoyed this. I thought it was very. Now, I wouldn't call it suspenseful because it was a little predictable knowing what we know about Walking Dead and aforementioned movies and shows. The other one that I found was really. This almost felt like an indie film. It's called Infinitum Subject Unknown. I watched it on YouTube, and I've got a link to the YouTube video in there. I don't know if this was on the premium account or if you can watch it just straight up, but it was one of the free movies that I was scrolling along and went, let's try that. It almost feels like an episode of Black Mirror in many ways, because there's this lady, she wakes up. It starts out with Ian McKellen and another guy talking about their science experiments. And she wakes up tied up in this room. She's tied to a chair and can't find her way out. And just when she gets to a certain point, it resets. So like every third or fourth attempt, she gets a little bit further and it resets and it resets. And she's getting really frustrated at this, but she's getting a little further. And things start happening that shouldn't be happening throughout the scenario. And again, she's walking around a completely empty town and then picks up a radio transmission. You can tell it's her voice on the other end of the transmission. So hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you. And I thought maybe she was talking to herself, but she's talking to herself like in another dimension or in another reality. So their
voices started to say the same thing at the same time.
It sounded like an echo at first, but then they did start having a conversation. Doesn't move very quickly. And it does a lot of resets, so you have to be very patient with this one.
Okay.
But I thought this was a good one from just the storyline was original. The writing was pretty decent. The directing, I'll give it a B. It's like it just started to get a little long in the tooth. It's like, oh, we're going to reset again. It felt like one of those Star Trek episodes where they're in a time loop going, again, we know
a temporal loop.
Yeah, it felt like it in a way.
I'm sorry, a temporal anomaly.
Another one on Netflix called Sunday Best: The Untold Story of Ed Sullivan. Highly recommend it. It spotlighted his focus on Black artists. This is when that wasn't a real popular thing to do. He ran the show for like 20 years, and he really brought to the fore people like Diana Ross and the Supremes, the Jackson 5, Stevie Wonder. When Stevie Wonder was 13, so many artists that are just commonplace got their start by being on Ed Sullivan because of Ed Sullivan. And racism in the South was so bad, they said, look, I know your Lincoln Mercury dealer is going to sponsor you, but Lincoln Mercury was starting to say, we may have to pull out because the people in the South are boycotting it. And he said, too bad. Wow. I'm going ahead. He had such sway with the industry that if they had lost him, CBS would have been up a creek. So he really became such a powerful icon and a powerful force in the civil rights movement, in showing equality, in showcasing new talent. It was really impressive. I did not know that side to Ed Sullivan.
It makes a lot of sense when you say it, but I had no idea either.
He was one of those people that said, this is not right, and I'm going to do what I can to make it right. Just to treat people with dignity and respect. I mean, it was to the point where they said, don't shake his hand on camera. It's like, F you, I'm shaking his hand. He's
why not?
Being like me and you. It seems ridiculous right now,
yeah,
but it was a thing. And it really, it makes you feel good in how far we've come, but still how much further we've got to go.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. I'll have to check that out then.
Sunday Best: The Untold Story of Ed Sullivan on Netflix. Last one is also a Hulu/FX show called Alien Earth. Now, if you are an Alien or Aliens fan and you've been following that,
this is the new series, right?
This is a new series, and it is coming out right now. They're about to finish up season 1 with episode 8 this week. There's an associated podcast with it. It's not all about the xenomorphs and chest bursters and face huggers. There are layers to this story that are just beautiful. I love the writing and the directing in this show. There are stories upon stories and metaphors and parallels. And when you start unraveling, going, oh my gosh, this is really, and some of it was very prescient because they started writing this back in 2018. They go, hey, I've got an idea for an Alien franchise property.
Yeah.
And when they started writing it, they were sort of projecting, going, what if stupid rich billionaire companies ran or trillionaire companies ran the place? And look what we've got today.
Yeah.
So you're watching this going,
Weyland Corp.
So there's Weyland-Yutani, which is mentioned in the previous mention. They're part of this. They're one of 5, but then it really focuses on this other boy genius. His name is Boy Cavalier, who's in his 20s and lives up to his name. He's a boy and he's Cavalier and he's stupid rich, trillionaire status. And he thinks the world revolves around him, like, you're playing in my world. The alien piece that's a nice tie-in to make everybody feel familiar is the spaceship Maginot is coming back after a 65-year mission from Weyland-Yutani.
Wow.
Collecting these life forms. And of course, life forms get loose, spaceship crashes. This is all in episode 1, so don't shoot the messenger. Spaceship crashes into the Prodigy buildings. They don't come collapsing down at first.
Okay.
But he says, it's Christmas. I've been given a gift. Now, he was working on transferring consciousness into synthetic bodies, because up until now, we've had synthetic bodies, synthetic consciousness.
Yeah.
Tim Oliphant is in this show. Love his character. He does a great job with this. He was from where was he? Played the U.S. Marshal that went rogue. I'm trying to remember the name of the show, but anyway, I love his character in this show. He plays a synth, like 100% synth. Justified. That's what it is. And Boy Cavalier is doing this experiment to take these sick children, because you have to use children because they're brains and consciousness are still malleable enough to transfer into these adult bodies. And then it follows that story. So you've got, are you human? Are you not? Are you a person? Are you not?
Are you replicant?
Going on at that level. Then you've got how we're treating the there's more than just the xenomorph too. There's this little, they call an eye mage. It's this little eyeball octopus thing.
Okay.
They've got these blood-sucking ticks. They've got these flying creatures, not real big, maybe the size of a, I don't know, rat, that eat minerals. So there are creatures, if you're a human, you don't want to be around the xenomorphs. If you're a synthetic, you don't want to be around those flying bugs because they will spray you with acid and eat you. So there's all kinds of things happening in this. There's people who want to do what's morally right, and they're conflicted by what the boy genius is telling them they must do for their job. There's all kinds of stories happening inside of this, and they crammed it into an amazing, 7 episodes so far, 8. I'm looking forward to listening to 8 and watching 8 soon. That'll be the end of season 1. But they did a wonderful job, did justice to the franchise, nice callbacks to I only watched 1 and 2. I did not watch Prometheus or Nostromo or any of the in-between ones, because frankly, some of them kind of went off the rails in my mind. But hey, love to hear your input as well. You can get a hold of us on the listener line, 707-530-2428, or you can email us.
Question of the week.
Yes, I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
You hear the music? We're not playing the outro music yet. I'm just saying, if you've got thoughts or opinions or want to tell us about something, give us a quick review of what you've watched, listened to, or read. We'd love to join the conversation. Question of the week before we go. What's the most useless / obsolete piece of technology you own, and why haven't you thrown it away yet?
My Palm Pilot.
I don't have one of those, but I do have my Apple II over there, and I wouldn't call it useless. Obsolete, maybe.
I've got some old stuff. I have to think about that for a minute.
Yep. This Dell video adapter that doesn't work.
My Windows CE device.
My Windows 90.
Hey, don't knock my Dell Axum. I recorded that hot dog, the Wienermobile interview with it back in the day. My stack of floppies from Windows 95 release candidate 3. I've got Windows 98 disk 1 of 2. Or no, 1 of 18. Technology, but I still have no idea what this burnt piece of paper represents. I'm at disk 1 of 18. There you go. I have obsolete things within punch cards. How's that? Obsolete and useless. Not useless. I can always use it. Why haven't you thrown it away yet? Because it's a piece of my history. I need some punch cards on the wall. Actually, I got some 5 1/4 floppies back there. They're only obsolete if you don't have any 5 1/4 drives. I do have one. See, you're 1541 for your Commodore. That's right. Yeah, it's not obsolete, and it's not useless. Yeah, obsolete maybe. We'll find something. We want to hear from you. We're going to post that to Facebook in a few days. All right. Give us a few days. We'll work on that, and we want to hear your responses. Now we can play the music and get to the end of the show, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go with that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. We know we took a little over an hour on that one because we had a lot of great shows to talk about and a lot of great articles. We hope you enjoyed that. We hope to see you back again next time, or listen with us again next time. And if you're joining us from the Adam Savage interview, thank you very much. We really appreciate you giving us your time. Yeah. If you want to get in touch with us again, listener line is 707-530-2428. 707-530-CHAT. Rolls off the tongue now, doesn't it? Or you can email us, technorama@chuckchat.com, assuming your SMTP servers and whatnot are configured correctly. Wink, wink. Yeah. If you know, you know. There's one person out there that went, I'm working on that. Yeah, I'm working on it. All right. Or you can search for us anywhere on the internet, Technorama Podcast. Thank you, Craig, for all the research and the articles, and we will give him a binary high five. All right. 101. And that's going to do it for our video service. We're going to go
record our Patreon show. We got a few things we want to talk about this week. Thank you again for joining us. Till next time.
Hasta luego.
Our feet are the same. No.